Hey, what's up? How's it going? It's your boy Don Soyson one, or even depending on where you are right now. Today I'm coming at you with what if Deku had the Sharingan 3, like I said I would yesterday at like 12:03 in the morning. But yeah, so I'm coming at you with this video. Should be one tomorrow too, or today, whichever happens. I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. But yeah, I feel like my intros are lackluster, but I don't really care. Let's get into it, guys. Class 1A pulled up to the training grounds, dressed up in their new costumes. Zuko's costume wouldn't look different here, especially since I like, the contrast of the green and the Sharingan's red. Anyway, things would go normally as All Might would explain the rules of the training and would assign teams. All Might would then pick the teams that were going against each other, and the teams were A and D. Bakugo and Ida versus Zuko and Ochako. As the teams got ready, Bakugo asked Ida, "So, what do you think's with Deku being able to steal quirks?" Ida responded with, "He doesn't steal quirks. He just has the ability to briefly copy them. Anyway, it seems like Midoriya is a capable fighter." Bakugo just scowled and said, "Well, after I'm done with him, the only thing that he'll be capable of doing is lying in a hospital bed." The students waited, and then the trial started. As Team A walked down the hall, Naruto, Midoriya had made a plan with Ochako, guessing what their opponent's first move would be. As they kept walking, Bakugo then rocketed himself in front of them, and then shot an explosion at Izuku, who dodged and knocked his teammate out of the way, but had part of his mask get blown off. He then said, "Like I said, Uraraka, I knew Katsuki's first move would be to come straight at us. Now it's time to kick our plan into action." He then activated his Sharingan and looked at Bakugo, copying his quirk. He then blasted a hole through the floor above him and told Ochako to make herself float so that she could escape through it. Bakugo would see this and shout, "Seems you're copying me again to get off your stupid plan, huh? Well, take this!" He then lunged at Izuku about to blast him, but was caught but he got his arm caught, and then while he was being flipped over Izuku thought, "Alright, let's try that out now." His whole body then began to glow and spark with green and red electricity as he yelled, "5%! Full cowling!" He then slammed Bakugo to the ground, knocking the wind out of him. Now, let me explain how he has full cowling already. It's fairly simple, actually. It's because the Sharingan has the ability to copy movements, and not to mention that he has had some martial arts, guidance. So I feel like with the ability to copy movements, and then the analytic ability and speed of the Sharingan, that Izuku would probably wise up that he would have to kind of spread one for all throughout his body, so he wouldn't have to just keep bouncing it around. And speaking of like future techniques that he would derive, he wouldn't have shoot style in this because since like he had some guidance from the stuff his dad left him, like about martial arts, he would kind of have the insight to know that he can also fight with his legs, like a non-idiot. But yeah, so Izuku was able to slam Bakugo into the ground and use 5% of full cowling for a sec. After Izuku had flung Bakugo onto the ground, he glared at him and said, "You see that, Katsuki? I'm always analyzing and progressing. By doing that, I'll surpass you, and I'll show you that you have no right to call me Deku." Bakugo got up, feeling a lot of pain in his back, and yelled, "You're dead!" He jetted himself towards Izuku, who yelled, "Now that Ochako's gone, at least you won't be in danger." They ran at each other and then knocked each other back. Bakugo then said, "I already know how much of a stalker you are, so I'm sure you know how my quirk works. Well, these gauntlets of mine can store up my nitroglycerin sweat, and when I pull the pin..." He was getting ready to pull it. I feel like I just spilled a little. You got that. Alright, that's my bad. But as Bakugo was about to pull the pin, Izuku rushed at Bakugo, trying to stop him by pumping 8% into only his legs, which, like I said, like in last part, All Might said that Izuku's threshold would probably be about 8 to 10%. But yeah, so as he ran towards him, he was able to get close to Bakugo, but Bakugo was still able to pull the pin. As he attempted to, quote, hurt Izuku so bad that they'll have to stop the match, end quote, because he's a little psychopath, Izuku had jumped on the wall and ran along it so that he could dodge the attack, but the attack would still do the same amount of damage to the building. He then flared at Izuku and said, "How about you stop hopping around and fight me?" He got a response of, "With pleasure." Izuku darted towards him and then punched him in the face, knocking him back. Though Bakugo was able to catch himself in the explosions and then kicked Izuku in the face. The two then engaged in a dance of Bakugo brutally coming at Izuku, who would try to dodge or sidestep the attack and then try to counter, landing his own hit when he sees an opening. And with this fight, Izuku was actually seeming to outdo Bakugo, but still he didn't have the best handle on full cowling yet, so he couldn't constantly use it throughout the entire fight, so that kind of flipping on and off would hamper on his ability, but still. But as the fight went on, Bakugo was starting to get impatient and yell, "Let's end this!" He propelled himself towards Izuku at full power, and to combat that, Izuku went into 5% full cowling. He then rushed towards his rival, who had to block his attack. Little did Bakugo know that right before Izuku rushed forward, he pulled out some capture tape that he was saving, and when the two clashed, he quickly wrapped Bakugo's arms in some of the tape and pulled. Before Bakugo could react, Izuku used Genjutsu on the blonde menace, paralyzing him, and then put all his strength into his left leg, and then kicked up, hitting Bakugo square in the face, making sure that he would get knocked out. He then tied up the now unconscious Bakugo using his capture tape. As All Might watched this, he thought about how happy he was due to the fact that Izuku was able to beat and subdue Bakugo. As Izuku finished up where he was at, he then rushed to find Ochako, and when he did, he saw that she was fighting Ida. He activated his Sharingan, and then waited and hid for when Ida's back was turned and he saw the right moment. He then rushed into the room and then pumped his legs full of 8% of One For All and knocked out Ida with a surprise kick to the head. With that, the hero team had won. Izuku was crowned the MVP as he was able to swiftly and efficiently knock out Ida, and he was able to defeat Katsuki and then tie him up. Momo and All Might would have had given the students their reviews, and Ida would have gotten geek because he would have heard that he was the second best in the simulation, coming close to Izuku, because Izuku did still allow serious damage to come to the building, so that would take points off for him. Izuku would also still go to the nurse's office, but it would just be a kind of rest because for the next few matches, as he would have overexerted himself using his full cowling, which he wouldn't have the best handling on. Everyone then would go, and Bakugo would simmer in even more anger than canon after getting a negative review and after actually just losing. And he lost even worse, so that's why he's even more angry. So after all the matches were done, the students then headed back to class, and Izuku arrived there about the same time as them. They congratulated him and complimented him on his match, and they all began to review the individual matches together, Izuku taking this opportunity to jot down the details of the matches that he missed. He would actually notice while hearing about the matches that Bakugo wasn't there and asked where he was so they could catch up to him. He then saw him and caught up to him when he was about to leave, and he yelled, "Hey Katsuki!" which got his attention. "Just so you know, I know you probably think I've been deceiving you, but I haven't. What I have been doing is getting stronger. And I've gotten stronger enough to where I know that you can't call me Deku anymore. I'm not some weakling. I'll keep improving and keep surpassing you. Then one day, I'll become the #1 hero. Bucko then just grit his teeth at that and said, while I was watching, I saw that ice guy. I'm not even sure if I could beat him. Not to mention, that chick with the ponytail said really sunk in. And now it seems you even gotten stronger than me. But know this, even with all of that, I'm not gonna be defeated. Not anymore. From here on out, I'm gonna be #1. Not you. So enjoy this victory today. Izuku. He then stomped off before All Might could even try to talk to him. So from then on, the class president thing would end kind of the same, except with Izuku would basically do what Ida did, and he'd stay the class president. And the USJ, honestly, I don't think there'd be a lot of differences. I feel like Izuku would still use the Delaware Smash, but it would be stronger, and he'd use it because it would be like the best way to clear out the villains. And really, the biggest difference would probably just be that because he wouldn't be able to react with the portal because that would come out of nowhere, so he wouldn't really be able to do anything like that. He wouldn't be able to try to copy the quirk or anything, but yeah, he'd just get teleported away like usual. Really, the only difference I feel like would be when him, Sue, and Mineta swim up to where Eraserhead was. He might try to help Eraserhead against the Nomu and like try to beat it, and while he would try to fight Tomura, Eraser would fight Tomura, but he'd still get just swatted because he can't, take on a Nomu. That's really the only difference I really see happening. And like, of course, All Might would still come in, and pretty much everything would play out as normal. And with that, we would actually be ending off the first season of My Hero Academia. And next episode, we'll be picking it up in season 2 at the sports festival. Alright, guys, so that's gonna be end of the episode. And after this video, I am going to get back. I'm gonna be trying to finish the other video. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get it out today or tomorrow. It should be coming out today or tomorrow. And yeah, that should be a pretty exciting episode. But yeah, so I'm gonna be ending the episode. But just so you know, season 2 and 3 is really kind of where this what if ramps up. I've got some parts that I really do want to get to so that you guys can see them. So yeah, but anyway, I'll be going. I'm just gonna get to work on that new video. So yeah, peace out.